Welcome to the Case IQ Compliance Monitoring Academy. In this introductory module, we're going to take a closer look at what a first-generation compliance program typically includes, and more importantly, what it leaves out. Let's get started with the risk landscape. No matter the size or sector, every organization must manage a core set of compliance risks. These often include bribery and corruption, kickbacks, fraud, embezzlement, and asset misuse, violations of international sanctions, conflicts of interest, and manipulated sales numbers through things like channel stuffing, and these risks aren't just theoretical. Beyond fines or investigations, these risks can damage your reputation and erode trust with your customers, employees, and partners. That's why organizations build compliance programs. Let's dive deeper into the purpose of a compliance program. These programs are built to help prevent problems, detect issues when they do arise, investigate them thoroughly, and take remedial action when needed to avoid future non-compliance. Think of a situation where someone tries to bribe a government official or a customer employee for business, or where a team books fake revenue at the end of the quarter. A well-designed compliance program puts safeguards in place to keep those kinds of behaviors from slipping through. Moving on to preventing risk with policies and training, most compliance programs start with written policies and mandatory training. These educate employees on what's expected and how to spot red flags. But let's be honest, rules and training alone are not sufficient to ensure compliance. You need more than awareness. You need systems and controls that back those principles up when it matters, when your employees actually face ethical challenges. To supplement policies and training, organizations often introduce approval workflows and internal controls. As mentioned earlier, policies and training are just the foundation. To truly support compliance in practice, organizations often implement approval workflows and internal controls. For example, third-party procurement, diligence, and contracting processes are put in place to validate the bona fides of third parties and avoid the hiring of sham vendors. Pre-approvals for donations, sponsorships, gifts, and other transfers of value ensure that they are vetted before they are incurred. These are just some examples of internal controls and processes that organizations put into place, and there are many more that ensure a strong controls infrastructure. Now let's look at the other side of the compliance equation: back-end auditing and incident reporting. On the back end, audit teams dig into transactions and data often long after the fact to make sure employees followed the rules. And to give people a voice, companies set up hotlines and case management tools so that concerns can be reported confidentially and tracked through resolution. That leads us to what's often missing from first-generation compliance programs: real-time monitoring. While audits and reporting are essential, they typically surface issues after the fact. Real-time monitoring changes that. At Case IQ, we define this as using AI and advanced analytics technology to automatically scan enterprise financial data and flag risky behavior in near real time, months or even years before an audit or a whistleblower report might flag it. So, where does real-time monitoring fit? Think of it as the layer that lives between upfront controls and back-end audits and investigations. It's always on, catching what front-end controls and reactive auditing and investigations might miss. So, why does it matter? Let's face it, sometimes controls are bypassed, sometimes wrongdoing is well hidden, and sometimes employees see something wrong but stay quiet. A corrupt employee looking to onboard a corrupt third party may game your third-party due diligence process by omitting or even mispresenting key information. That employee and their manager may be colluding to hide inappropriate third-party behavior. And a co-worker who learns of the wrongdoing may be worried about retaliation from the manager. Compliance monitoring helps close that gap. It relies on the company's transactions with the third party to detect strange behavior independently and gives you visibility when it matters, when transactions occur. And that leads to a more proactive compliance function. When you have this kind of monitoring in place, compliance isn't just reacting to problems, it's getting ahead of them. You can catch issues early, investigate faster, and resolve risks before they become patterns or worse, public. In Module 2 of this course, we'll take a closer look at how compliance monitoring can address some key compliance risk areas for your organization. Thanks for watching.